Yishem Adonai Mevorach Matam Adonai, Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. Shalom everybody. Today, the evil eye number 7. First of all, I say thank you, Shar Koach, Hazak U'Baruch, to the Goldstein family for hosting the Shi'ur. May Hashem bless you with great parnasa and nachas for all your children and good health. Amen. Amen. And same bracha also goes to all the participants. We have Baruch Hashem on Zoom 23. Baruch Hashem. Wow. So we also want to dedicate this Torah class for all our prisoners, kidnapped, and all the soldiers, the Israeli soldiers, the IDF, and all the security forces. May Hashem bring them back home safely soon. Amen. So I want to start with asking a question. Since we're dealing about Ayin Hara for quite a time, and this is just the beginning, much more to go. And we're going through the Tanakh, the Bible, to see where all the incidents that Ayin Hara was involved either caused that, or there were some actions that it was a temptation to prevent Ayin Hara, stuff like that. They were attempting to prevent Ayin Hara. And today we will learn also 2 sgulot to protect ourselves from Ayin Hara. So if you behave and don't ask too many questions, B'ezrat Hashem be able to squeeze it in. Right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihyo bidbaro. Amen. Amechaye. Tov. No, the question is, can one give Ayin Hara to someone else willingly?
Willingly?
Willingly. Meaning, he says, this guy, I'm going to go there to that event, for example, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to give him Ayin Hara. Or this is something that comes randomly, automatically. Can it come with kavana, with intention? Can Ayin Hara be given intentionally? If you say yes, I want to see a proof. If no, I want to see a proof. Any ideas?
The same way Bilam tried to curse Israel and wasn't able to. He did have kavanah. He did.
Very good, very good. What's your name? What's your name? I'm going to repeat what he says. What's your name? Moshe. Shalom Moshe. Moshe from where?
Chicago.
Okay, so Moshe from Chicago said something very interesting. He said, yes, you can give intentionally, you can give Ayin Hara, and the proof is from Bilam. So the answer is, yes, you can. And the proof is from the book of Numbers 24 to Bamidbar Chavdaled Bet. The whole story about Balak and Bilam. Balak was asking to protect himself and his people. He was asking to hire Bilam so he can come and with his sorcery, with his the power of his mouth, the power of his black magic, he'll be able to protect his country and his people. Why? Because the Israelites, millions of them, about to cross through their land. They didn't let them do that, but he was afraid that they're going to do it anyways. Or they might invade. Okay. So he called Bilam. And Bilam got a message from Hashem during that night, not to do anything, or not to go, but if he go, he can say only words that Hashem will allow him. Hashem will tell him which words to say. Basically, it's blessings, and the whole blessing will be the words of God. If you go and learn thoroughly the discussion, you see something very interesting. Bilam says, I'm going to say it in Hebrew, אם ייתן לי בלק מלוא ביתו כסף וזהב. He says to the messengers that came to escort him to Balak, Bilam said to them, I can't really come with you. They say, why not? I'm going to pay you really well, really good. And then he says, even if Balak, the king, right, will give me his house full of gold and silver, I cannot do that. First of all, what do you notice here when he says? He didn't say, if he give me my house full of gold and silver. He says, Balak house. Why he said that?
He's being suggestive.
He's being. It's probably bigger.
That's it. It's true. He doesn't have enough. He said, my house is small. Balak has you have a palace. Even that size of a house full of gold and silver is not enough. But it shows about his nefesh. Something that we'll deal in a minute. And he says, the Midrash says, you need to pay me really well. Why? He says, if he wants to defeat enemies, in this case it's Israel, he needs to hire soldiers. It's going to cost them a lot of money. And maybe he will win, maybe he will lose. There's no guarantee. You don't know. But dealing with me, guaranteed success. So I'm doing a better job. So you better consider paying me really well. With me, it's a sure thing. What he was so sure about, that he will go there and will give Ayn Hara. When he'll be able to give the Ayn Hara, it's a finish. It's finished story. That's it. Success is guaranteed. As that's what the Midrash says. You see from here, one place in the Torah, that you can intentionally give Ayn Hara to someone. And how do you do it? You don't have to be Bilam for that. You might say, okay, Bilam probably knew how to do it. But how do you do it? How do you give someone Ayn Hara? Have any idea? Intentionally.
It's very hard to know if you don't have it in you to do. It's true.
No one here have Ayn Hara, Baruch Hashem. From what you learned before and what you know before.
But you told us something. You told us if you count someone's, if you count their whatever.
Right.
They have,
Counting is one thing.
One thing, right?
Is one thing. Okay. Counting, person's property or whatever. You can do it intentionally.
You know that and you count.
You know that you do it.
You can do it intentionally. Secondly, is jealousy. You sit there and say, how much money he has, such a big house, or big this, or kids. There's a lot of, how should I say it, ways to give someone Ayn Hara. It's just simple jealousy. In his wife, in his, and the husband, and in the children, and whatever. So, just using jealousy, you can give intentionally Ayn Hara. What is the segula? We'll share with you first segula. That will sound very strange to you.
What does that mean?
Strange is mean out of the ordinary. Yeah, I know I was asking something.
What about like Shimon Bar Yochai when he came out of the cave?
You make him gal atzamot.
And he gave that look and he...
Natan bo einav.
Was that then he realized he made a mistake.
You're asking good, but you're referring to actually something else. You're asking about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai after coming out of the ground,
right.
the cave, and he saw someone, and he make him gal shel atzamot, a pile of bones, they call it. So first of all, you can ask, but he's a killer. He killed someone. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai can do something like that. So the Talmud, it didn't kill anybody. But there is something called in the Zohar, Gal Shel Atzamot, meaning every evil, take the most evil thing on earth, still has a spark of kedusha in it. And this kedusha stay there, so it can do its tikkun. It gives life to that person or to that entity. Okay. When a tzaddik in the level of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai see that it's a lost case, is not going to do anything with it, like Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayifen Kol V'chol, like remember. So he can suck the kedusha part, this part, out of him, and he make him worth like a donkey now, because worth nothing. He's like a pile of bones. It's metaphorically, you understand? So now Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai will do the tikkun. In Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai level, they can see lights, they can see things beyond of what we can see. Okay, Gal shel atzamot, a pile of bones, appears in the Talmud in few places. That's not the only place. So it's not ayin ra'ah, but Hashem says, the Talmud says, the bat kol came out and says, go back to your cave. You're destroying the world. Nobody is in that level. Let the people do their own tikkun. What are you doing? They thought everyone in their level after being 12 years and now 13 years. So first gula. The first segula is the following. It's from the Talmud, Masechet Brachot, Tractate Brachot, page 55b, Daf Nun Hey Amud Bet. Very famous bracha. The Gemara. When you want to protect yourself from Ayin Hara, you got to do these things. And if you notice, rabbis do that all the time, especially when they go to give a shiur or give a lecture before a big crowd. You should put your right thumb in your left palm and left thumb, right, in your right palm.
What?
He got confused. Birds. Look.
Yeah.
Like that. Let me do this. Kacha, close. Kacha, close. I don't know if you can see it on the video. You see sometimes, Rabbi, they go to give lectures and they go like that. If you look behind, you see they go like that.
You don't see anything.
Okay? They go like that. And just for a few seconds and it's enough.
Just walking around.
Some do it. Some do it in front of. You can do that, but some do that also.
Thumb in my palm, and what else?
Okay, I will repeat that. Do this here and this here, and do that. Check that in the Talmud. What's the idea behind it?
You can do it.
And you gotta say, I'm going to give you also the time, the reasoning, the sense behind it, the idea behind it. After this, I'm going to tell you something. At the very end of the class, I'm going to give you something even more strange. Something strange. Listen to this. You have to say, Ana mizara de Yosef ka'atina. You listen to the recording later, so you can take it. Ana mizara de Yosef ka'atina, de lo shalta be'ena bisha. That's it. Some even add, ben porat Yosef, ben porat ale ayin, banot tza'ada ale shor. You say a pasuk here and another pasuk. Okay? What does that mean? Ana mizara de Yosef ka'atina. It's an American. Ana, I am, from the descendants, from the line of Yosef, I came. De lo shalta be, that ayin hara, the evil eye, cannot control Yosef and his descendants. That's what you say. So ask me a question.
If you're not from
Well, if you're not,
Yeah.
what if you know if you're a Kohen?
No. Does Yosef mean the line of Yosef or does it mean
Line of Yosef, if you read it literally, it means I came from Yosef. So, and you're asking good, and I will answer that. How I can say it if, first of all, I don't know. And secondly, how is it possible that everyone is from Yosef? You want to try to answer that question? The question understood? Okay. What's
I
the
read this week where Yosef providing for the Klal Yisrael in Egypt
Oh.
means one of the ways of looking at him is that we're from
Oh,
his
very
line.
good. It's one of the answers. So Yosef provided to the whole tribes as if he is their father now. He took care. He took all the tribes under his wings. They all consider under Yosef. There's more psukim, verses in the Tanakh, that it says about the Geulah, also in Tehillim, that we are from the descendants of Yosef. Comes from Yosef. But it doesn't have to be necessarily from the line of Yosef. The main idea here is the following. Yosef, what was his greatness? Why he was so blessed that anyone that comes from his line are protected automatically from evil eye.
Because
What did he do to earn that?
He didn't give in to temptation of Potiphar's
Oh, Yosef, from the age 17, right, he lived in Egypt. And he was a very beautiful person. And the Midrash explain what happened with Yosef.
17.
What?
I was wondering if his age or page. Sorry. Age or page.
Age 17. He was, and he became king over Egypt the age of 30. Now, he was a very beautiful person among, I don't be racist, but among ugly people. The Torah described him that he was a beautiful person, his appearance. He also have a very good human traits. He was modest, he was smart. You can tell this guy is different. And he was at the house of Potiphar. Who's Potiphar? Potiphar, it says, Sar HaTabachim. Tabach is a chef in Hebrew, but Tabachim, the Torah means, is the head of, was the executioner. Executioner. That's it, right? So he was the head of the execution. And that department. He knows nothing about killing, and he have thirst for blood. They don't mess around with such people like that, right? He has a beautiful, beautiful wife. Her name was, if you know, you get a prize from me. Eshet Potiphar, the wife of Potiphar, which is absolutely right. Her name was Zelicha, or Zelicha. She was very, very beautiful. She noticed this young man. Her husband was not at work all the time. And she wants to be with him. Okay?
Alicia?
Zelicha.
Alicia, okay.
No, Zelicha. You hear the recording later, Bezat Hashem. Okay? On YouTube. So she, in the morning, dressed up like she going to a prom, to a party. Not regular clothing. She said, he will notice me. He didn't pay attention to her. For lunch, changing dress. Evening, changing dresses. Yosef is not paying attention to her. Day after day after day, she putting perfume. She put a little bit more the next day. She put the whole bottle. Everybody could not stand that, and he is not paying attention. He's doing it purposely. And she get to the point she got very depressed. Her friends saw her and said, "Why are you depressed? What's up with you?" She said, the young man that my husband brought, that he bought him. I'm trying to be with him, and he's not even looking at me. And they start to laugh at her. You can get anybody you want, and you want this young man. Say, you don't know what I'm talking about. So she said to them, you know what? At some point, I want you to sit. She let them sit on the
balcony.
A wall. I don't know if it was a fortified city or not, but it was a wall there. And she said, every Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the morning, he passes here to collect taxes, to see the business, how it goes. He was in charge. And he's going to be in the chariot. And I just want you to look at him and tell me what you think. I said, fine. So, in the meantime, she gave them, the Midrash says, she gave them esrog, you know. She said, in the meantime, so you won't get bored, maybe you help me out, just peel this etrogim. Fine. He is like a Swiss clock passing there exactly on time. In the meantime, they are peeling the etrogim. When they saw him, all the girls cut their fingers. Whoa. Bend it. So, do you see what I'm talking about? You will not be able to stand that such a beauty. And now, give me an advice. What should I do? So they said, now, when we saw him with our own eyes, we understand what you're dealing with. Now, all her friends, Zlaicha friends, wants to be with Yosef as well.
Oh my goodness.
There, and even today, you know, Shem Merachem, slaves, you can do whatever you want with them. In times of the Romans and the Greeks, the slaves could do these things for wherever they want. The husband was in a battle zone for a year or two, and the slaves had to, you understand what I'm saying? And they can tell them when to come, where to come, how many times, where to be. So they told her, listen, if he's ignoring you, you got to force yourself. You got to force yourself on him. So she said, okay. If that's what I got to do, I got to do.
Darn it.
And then, I'm not going to tell you what the Midrash says, that it's a long Midrash. At some point, she came to him and she started to talk to him, and he is not looking at her. Why is not looking at her?
Because he's modest.
Avoid
temptation.
He almost messed it up. The Talmud says Yosef almost messed it up. He doesn't owe anything to anybody. He can be with whoever he wants. Especially after he was betrayed with his own brothers, and he also thought, he has in his mind, maybe his father is part of it. Yosef was upset with his brothers. Did he forgive his brothers? You think so? Rabbeinu Bachya said there is no evidence in the Torah anywhere that Yosef really forgave his brothers, and probably he didn't. This is why they had to come back in the Gilgul and the Asara Harugei Malchut, those 10 tzaddikim that died by the hands of the Romans. That was their tikkun. Nevertheless, he tried to do tikkun for them. It was not complete. If he would forgive them, then there was no need for tikkun. Right? For another discussion. So the Midrash says that she was there. She said, if you don't look at me, I'm going to bend you're looking down, I'm going to bend your whole body. She said, Hashem zokef kefufim. Hashem will straighten me up. And I will blind your eyes. She says, Hashem pokeach ivrim, all morning blessings. Hashem will open my eyes. Everything she said to him, he said, but Hashem will do the opposite. Hashem will correct it. Hashem will fix it. Yosef had all the chances in the world to sin. He could have any girls he wants. You agree with me? Eventually, what she did, she tried to force him. She make a lot of noise, make a sound. And we all know what happened. She took his jacket. He left his jacket because he ran for his life. And after that, he was thrown to the pit for 10 years, 12 years total. That's just a side question. If it was such a tzaddik, it was tzaddik, right? Why he deserved that? he did everything in his power to avoid this lady. He was very, how do I say it, following the teaching of his father, to be modest, the 7 universal laws. Everything was perfect, and yet he suffered that much. Pit in Egypt back then, it's not a joke. That day was a special day, right? They had a day of ceremony for their idols, right? Our sages blaming Yosef for one thing. He got caught on this thing. This day, nobody home. Why you put yourself in danger? You're not supposed to go and do your work. You're very diligent. You're very loyal. It's a day that you put yourself in a risk. When you put yourself in a risk, you bring the midat hadin on you. The Talmud says, if the yeshiva is, 100 yards here, but I have to go 100 yards away, but I have to go through places that is not modest. If I need to do a detour, how you say it, a roundabout, right? It will take me maybe an extra 10 minutes. It's going to be a half a mile. The Talmud says, go a half a mile. Don't put yourself in a place, in the spot that you might sin. But you say, no, but it's an expense of Torah. I'm going to miss Torah learning. Don't be, it's not tzaddik. This is wicked. You're Rasha if you do that. Because the power of the Satan, the power of the evil inclination is very strong. He will catch you. And Yosef almost committed a sin. He prepared himself, he looked at the mirror, and all of a sudden, he saw, you know what the mirror says? Who he saw? Yaakov. Some says,
The mirror?
he did it in the mirror. He didn't see Yaakov actually. He saw himself, because he looks like Yaakov. He says, oh, Abba, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I even thought about it. He was trying to run away. She grabbed his jacket, and then she
Accused him what he took.
accused them. Okay, let me just share one more thing. I was thinking maybe how she accused them.
Didn't she yell out?
She yelled out, but that's not a proof, because when she was intimately with her husband, she said exactly like what's going on between you and I. That's what he did.
She had his jacket.
Jacket is not a proof. She can get a jacket. So the Midrash says, huh? The what? She brought Zera? She brought a proof. What's the proof? She wanted to say to prove that he was with her intimately. So she took an egg. She took only the white shell, the white part, not the yolk. What do you call it?
The white part.
The white part. The white part. And she put it on the sheets. She covered it. And then when he comes, say, you see, this is his. He knows her. He knows Yosef. He can believe. He called to the magician, the Khartoumim. Take it to the lab. Check it out. The Midrash says it's a very simple test. What do you test? Fire up.
Fire.
You put some fire. If it's hardened, it's an egg. If it's melted, it's a semen.
Really?
And this is now, they told them, this is not a human thing, it's an egg. Now what is he going to do? She's blaming, but this guy's innocent. So this is why he didn't kill him. He was supposed to kill him. What did he do? Throw him to jail. He tried to find the middle way.
That makes sense. I was shocked to hear
We can
this.
talk about this beautiful concept and what really Yosef did it for 10 years. He was actually coming to Potiphar's house every day. He's coming out, but this is for another discussion. Yosef sacrificed his life not to sin. He watched and guarded his own eye. And therefore he was blessed. Mida keneged mida. Measure for measure. He guarded his eyes. He got the power over the eye. Banot sa'ada aleishu. Ale over. We'll see it later. What time is it?
7:30.
Okay, we have enough time. Any question? So you remember the segula? Yeah? To be in the front, just like that. What's the idea behind it? What's the idea? Why we do that? Later I'm going to share with you something even more strange. You know, our body represents, either in the sfirot, or represents letters of the alphabet. How do you call this in Hebrew? It's called agudal, or the tongue. How many tongues do we have? Sure. This is, in Kabbalah, represents Israel. And this is the other nation. It's called Am Levadad Ishkon. It's a nation that it's by itself, on himself, but Levadad. If you count how many parts we have, 3 in each?
So 12.
Yeah.
12. Plus,
Knuckles.
yes, knuckles. Plus this part, 13. We're putting Israel on both sides, Israel and Israel, 13 and 13 together, 26. 26 is exactly the numerical value of Shem Hashem, the name of Hashem. Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey. And this name of Hashem, is a name that protects from everything. As it says, Hashem Yishmorcha Mikol Ra. What's the ultimate evil from every evil? Hashem will protect from all evil. What's the ultimate evil? The Ain Hara. There is no evil like Ain Hara. Because the name of Hashem you're creating with your own actions, Hashem, you have to think about it. Hashem, 26, yeah. You bring that energy, that power to you, and you're protected. Okay? Questions? Okay, good. You look in shock. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Think something.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I'm still thinking about the agudal and
Yeah. Remember again, agudal, you can do it behind
Does
your
it
back.
matter which hand goes first?
No. I can go more into deeply more, a little bit more about this concept, but let me just say, just do that. Because I have a whole show, I have to have a whole show about the idea of what you're doing here and why you're putting together right and left. Because this is chesed, this is judgment, this is din. But in order to defeat and beat Ain Hara, you have to have these two forces joined together. Now they are going together. The achdut, what achdut? Unity, has the power to protect from Ain Hara.
Why do we need it?
Huh?
Why do we need it?
Oh, absolutely. Every day. Let me tell you the other one, and the explanation comes later. Okay. The other one is very strange. If you feel you're going to a room, you might get Ain Hara, or you might have Ain Hara, or you want to protect yourself, look, Talmud says, look with your left eye to your left nose. Everybody now making faces.
I can't do
I told you, it's strange. I will share with you, Be'ezrat Hashem, at the very end of the class, why. Don't do it while you're walking, you might bang on something.
Large noses.
Huh?
Why Hashem gave us large noses.
Bless the one that have long nose, you know. Easy. So remind me to explain why. What's the idea behind it? And it's easier than going with the fingers, right? Just do like that. I want to discuss a little bit about Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov and Esav. After we learn about Bilam, okay. Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov wants to beat his brother, to defeat his brother Yaakov. Again, Esav wants to defeat Yaakov, his brother, using the power of Ayin Hara. Many Mefarshim explain the following. After many years, let's say you calculate 22 years away from home, Yaakov is coming back. All the kids born except one. Rachel is pregnant. I'll calculate it. I think Yosef is almost at the age of 9 years old. And as soon as Yosef born, Yaakov felt that he's protected. He got nevuah that the Satan for Esav is Yosef. Esav is like a dry straw, and Yosef is like a fire. It will consume it. So when I have this boy, I'm protected. And he felt comfortable to leave. And he asked permission, and Lavan didn't give him permission. He said, stay for another 7 years. So he stayed for, I would say, almost 9 years. And then he had to run. He didn't let him go. He didn't let him go. Just try to remember the numbers. That's the age of Yosef, around 9 years old. They're doing their ways to the land of Canaan. Back then, land of Israel, but back then called land of Canaan. So far, so good? Mm-hmm. He's going with a huge livestock, a lot of cattle, a lot of animals, a servant, maidservant, very wealthy person. Then he heard from people that Esav is coming. So he sent people from his group to check who is coming, what's their attention, and how many are they. And we see that the Pasuk tell us the exact number. They said to him, your brother is coming, and he's coming with 400 people. If you come and meet your brother, why you need 400 people? Come with 5, 6, 10, 20 people. 400! You're preparing for a war. Mm-hmm. And all of them on horses, warriors. When we get to the book of Be'ezrat Hashem, Melachim will see who were these 400 people. They're connected. Okay, not now. And it says, Banu el achicha el Esav, we came to your brother Esav, and he's coming toward you, and there's 400 people with him. Meaning he's not coming for peace, he's coming for a war. Why the Mefashim says, I need to know that it's 400, who cares if it's 350 or 420? It's exact number, 400. Esav knew the power of Ayin Hara. And they knew how to manipulate letters or numbers or whatever. So 400, as Rabbeinu Bachya says, it's the exactly numerical value of Ayin Hara. He says, with this power, with this number, I'm going to bring Ayin Hara over my brother, and this power will consume him, God forbid. I don't have to do much. In order to bring Ayin Hara against Yaakov, and how do we know that? We know that, Rabbi Yosef Karo, did you hear about Rabbi Yosef Karo? Mm-hmm. Rabbi Yosef Karo, Shulchan Aruch. The whole Jewish world followed this Shulchan Aruch. Till today. Till Mashiach comes. And after. With Rabbi Yosef Karo has a very special chavrusa. The chavruta was an angel. An angel comes and with Rabbi Yosef Karo, teaching him and teaching him secrets from Shamayim. One of the things that he taught Rabbi Yosef Karo is this one. Esav wants to defeat Yaakov with the power of Ayin Hara, and that's the reason he came with 400 people. As it says, Esav shera'a eino be'achiv Yaakov v'nitkana bo. What was the reason? Because he was jealous at him. Why? Why Esav was jealous with Yaakov? What's the reason? He took the blessing. He took the blessing that only the firstborn get. You sold your firstborn.
Yeah,
Right.
He didn't really take it.
He gave it away. And this is why he came with 400 people. Keminyan ra, ayin ra, meaning the numerical value of the evil eye. Okay? So he's trying to neutralize Yaakov with this number of people. Okay, Rabbeinu Chabacher says something even further. He says,
I'm sorry, it's really hard to understand you. This is the other interpreter talking now. Can you speak more slowly, please?
Okay. Esav and Yaakov are brothers. Esav tried to defeat Yaakov with the power of Ayin Hara, the evil eye. But Rabbeinu Bachya take it one step ahead, and he says that these traits of jealousy and giving Ayin Hara on people, it's in the DNA of the entire Edom kingdom. All the Edomite, anybody that comes. Today they're saying the Edomite is mainly the whole, we're referring to the Christian world or to Rome, where Christianity was developed first, right? So there is nation of people, it's in their DNA. They have the power to give Ayin Hara. So that leads to another question. Can be a person that has a power to give Ayin Hara. This is his nature from birth. He's born like that, and he gives Ayin Hara. The answer is absolutely yes. And if you can recognize that, if you see this, avoid him. Don't say shalom from a distance. Shalom. If you won't recognize him, say shalom. Because you can get hurt severely from their eye. It's something we'll see Be'ezrat Hashem later. If you recognize a person that has Ayin Hara, for example, someone that is full of jealousy, is full of Lashon Hara, out of his jealousy, he's talking negatively against other people. We have a lot of signs who have Ayin Ra'ah. It's verses of Ayin Tova, good eye. You recognize a person, a man, a woman, doesn't matter, even could be a family member. Avoid him as much as you can. You're saving your life. And it says, and I'm reading it, in the Malchut, the kingdom of Edom, Edomite, Ve'elu aynin ke'ayne ansha bekar nada. This is the kingdom of Edom, the wicked, that they putting Ayin Ra'ah in person's property. It's just jealous. It runs in the blood of this nation, of these people. Sorry, it's very racist, but that's the truth. That's the difference between, what's the difference between them and the Jewish people? The Jewish people, you can define them as gever. What's gever? What's gever? Men. Men. Gever means men. Isha means woman. But gever is also the abbreviation, the acronym of Gimel Gomlei Chasadim, Bet Baishanim, Resh, no? Rachmanim, thank you. Gever, Gimel, mean merciful, they possess shame, and perform kindful. Kindful. Meaning they are merciful. They don't go with, cruelty all the way. Let them cool down for some time. They will let go. They forgive. Easy to forgive. Many times it goes against us. As it happens also again in the book of Malachim, we'll see what happened with the people of Givon and David. They didn't let go and they wanted to kill the children of Shaul. They demanded from David. They were very cruel, and the Torah says they are not from the Jewish people because they're so cruel. They didn't let go. They want a revenge. And King David has to give the children of Shaul to them so they will kill them. That's a sign of cruelty. Okay. What time is it now?
7:00.
Sashma. So now, Yosef and Esav. Imagine that. The family of Yaakov doing their way to Esav. They're crossing the Jordan. You know the story with Yaakov going back, fighting with the angel. And how old was Yaakov back then? Almost 100 years old. Around, I calculated, I hope I didn't do a mistake. He should be around 99, 100 years old. He's going back to do what? Everybody crossed the Jordan, and he's going back
To get the oil.
No oil.
His possession.
What was it? Our sage is saying was a plate, a small jar, right? Maybe, I don't know, silver, a spoon and a knife. So that raises many questions. Why Yaakov did it himself? He couldn't send one of the servants. Secondly, let it go, leave it there.
The jar of oil from the...
No, it's not jar oil. The Talmud says it's just regular plates. The tools that he used to eat lunch with. Leave it. You're a wealthy man. You're a millionaire. You care about something worth $5, $10, and you risk yourself crossing all the way to Jordan back. He almost got killed because the angel of Esav almost killed him. He hurt him because he was limping after that incident, right? So the Torah, by the way, teaches us a lesson for life. One, ever since we can't eat gida nashe, every time we do shechita, the other part, usually it's too much of a work to clean, it's not worth it, so Jewish people, most around the world, eating the half part. But why? Because the gida nashe is where Yaakov got hurt from the angel. It's a lesson for all of us. Never leave family member by himself. It's a punishment for the brothers that didn't escort their father. But that's another issue. The question why he did go back, he wants to show how grateful to Hashem for what he gave him. It's bal tashchit. It's a waste. Where did I get these utensils? Hashem gave it to me. I'm showing appreciation to what Hashem gave me. It's bal tashchit. It's another lesson for us to appreciate. You don't like items at your house, give other people to enjoy. Don't throw it away. It's about tashchit, not the concept. So his name was changed from Yaakov to Israel in that incident, and now he's about to meet Esav. And Yaakov is giving him gifts to Esav to soften him little by little. And Esav, thinking in his mind, today I'm finishing this guy. That's it. So, and he see all these animals that he's sending to him. All this, the cattle and the donkeys and the lambs and the goats. And so he softened him little by little. Every hour, a bunch of animals come with servants. So he softened his heart a little bit. And then, when they met, you read the text, you see that they are bowing to Esav out of respect. Back then, you know how they were bowed to each other? It's not like the Japanese go like that, all the way down. like you do Yom Kippur and davening. All the way. Like the Muslims do. No comparison when they go to their prayers, right? So, but something interesting happened at that event. It says the following in the Pasuk. Okay? It's a book of Bereshit, 33 verses 6 and 7. ותיגשנה שפחות הנה וילדיהן ותשתחוונה. Yaakov divided the families in a way that the maidservants will go first, and then Leah, and who is last? Rachel. So, ותיגש גם Leah וילדיהן, Leah and her children, they bowed. And the pasuk ends with saying, and then Yosef and Rachel, their turn came and they bowed. If you look at the Pesukim, it doesn't say like about the other. What's the difference? Huh? Yosef went first before his mother. He's trying to hide his mother. Talking about 9 years old. This is before Bar Mitzvah. And he's thinking already to protect his mother. Protecting her from what? She's married. She's pregnant. What he was thinking? He will try to get her to marry her? What he was trying to do? It says that the following, the Midrash says, בכולן האימהות ניגשות לפני הבנים, אבל ברחל יוסף לפניה. Yosef says the following, my mother, she's beautiful. Maybe this guy will look at her in a way that he will jealous my father, and then he'll give ayin hara on my mother. So I'm going to take the errors. I want him to look at me, and I will try to hide my mother. And Hashem paying for that. Midah keneged midah. You protect someone from ayin hara, you'll be protected from ayin hara. And Yosef protected ever since for generations from ayin hara. You do good, you get 10 times good from Shamayim, from heaven. In the Midrash says, ותיגשנה שפחות הנה וילדיהן, what time is it? ותשתחוונה, 5 minutes. ותיגש גם לאה וילדיה, and then Yosef says, and then Yosef ורחל וישתחו. By the way, who were the 4 mothers? What's the name of the 4 mothers? Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. Something is missing. Sarah. Every time anybody you ask, who are the 4 mothers? We have 3 fathers and 4 mothers. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Right? 4 mothers. We sing it every Passover. אחד, 4 אמהות, 3 אבות, 2 לוחות הברית, אחד אלוהינו, אלוהינו, אלוהינו. 4 mothers. Give me the names. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. Leah and Rachel. Fine. Are you sure? Ma? Something is missing. Someone is missing. 2 missing. Who are they? Bila and Zilpa. What's up? Why are we not counting Bila and Zilpa?
They were like on behalf of the mother. On behalf of
First of all, Bila and Zilpa were sisters.
And
Rachel and Leah were sisters. The Midrash said that they were twins. You know that Rachel and Leah were the same age. They were twins. You know anything about twins?
Not much.
She was the older. Why Leah was crying? Because they were saying the twins go to the twins. Rachel, Leah and Rachel will go to Esav and Yaakov. They're twins in Eretz Canaan. They're around the same family, twins to twins. This is why Leah was crying all her life, because she knew that she's going to be married, have to be married with Esav, and he's wicked. She cried so hard till she lost her eyelashes. And someone, God forbid, that without eyelashes it doesn't look good, right? Nevertheless, she was beautiful. Her nature was beautiful, like Rachel. But she was crying. But Kodesh Baruch Hu fixed it a different way. What happened with Zilpah and Bilhah? They were sisters from another mother. The Pesukim mention always the most important, the Ikar, the man of the house. Back then they called, you heard about surrogate mothers? Mm-hmm. So that's what he did. Lavan got a surrogate mother, and Lavan took surrogate mother, and they gave birth Zilha and Bilhah and Zilpah. And when they grew up, he put Bilhah with Rachel and Zilpah with Leah. And some places in the Midrashim, they're counting 6 mothers, not 4. They're counting Zilpah and Bilhah as well. Where is Zilpah and Bilhah buried? Do you know? There is a graveyard in Tiberia, and you go the end of the street called Rehov HaShomer, the street of Shomer. There is 6 very famous women buried there. Many goes there, they davening with the kedusha of that place, and the great women that buried there, their prayers are answered. Many testifying that. Who's buried there? 6 women. One is Bilhah. Second is Zilpah. Who else? Yocheved, the mother of Moses.
What?
The wives of Amram. Mm-hmm. And then Elisheva. She is the wife of Aaron. Aaron HaKohen. And then 5th is Tzipora, the wife of Moshe Rabbeinu. And the 6th one is Avigail, the Tzadikah, the wife of King David.
Where is this?
Tiberia. Rehov HaShomer.
In the north.
So if you go there, look for the tomb of the Imahot, the mother's tomb. This is how it's called. It's not far away from there. Next time you go to Eretz Israel, make efforts to go there. It's at the end of Rehov HaShomer. Okay.
So why was only one of the Melechs buried there?
I don't know why. I don't know. What time is it?
Just 7:05.
So, okay, guys. Listen, I have to wrap it up. I owe you an answer, Bezrat Hashem, next week. Why to look on the right nose? You can try look it up. Maybe, it's a homework. Come back next week. Tell me.
So next week I won't be here. I don't know if you want to do it. Oh, you're
Yeah, we're leaving.
We'll figure it out. We're going to have Bezrat Hashem Shi'ur. We're going to find a place. We can do my place. We can do in the shul. There's no problem. We're going to have Shi'ur Bezrat Hashem next Sunday. Continue with this topic. And those who miss it either can go on Zoom or see it later on YouTube. But that remind me that I need to share the ta'am, the reasoning why it's unbelievable. It's connected to... Okay. I can start just with saying that the nefesh of the person has 7 openings, 7 channels. How is that related to what we said? Okay, on behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank you for coming and joining the Torah class. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, tell me. If you enjoyed it, tell your friends. You're welcome.